Alright, so we're going to continue on with this bird. So I think we'll just do a couple more of these little leaves in here, and then we can do this bottom section. So if we get these leaves out of the way, so we'll do the start off with some cold grey one. So this one up here, so there's like a little leaf in front, so we'll do that one first with the cold grey one. Add some sky blue because there's a bit of a blue tone here. Go with a bit of the light green here. Earth green yellowish. No, this one is olive green yellowish. And we'll just do a little bit of the darker sections so we can see these little bits. Around there. Go a little bit of the permanent green. Up here. Light green. Maybe even a bit of the May green. A little bit of the black. Bit like that, and then this leaf up here, the cold grey one. Here. Light green. Sky blue. This side. May green. Earth green yellowish. Olive green yellowish. Some like little details in this leaf. like little dots in here. Blend this down a little bit, maybe a bit more of the permanent green. Cold grey one, and then we'll just blend that down with some white. Permanent green. Earth green yellowish, olive green yellowish. I keep saying the wrong one. Just blend this over really lightly. So then once we've done all the leaves and that, we'll go back in and blend all of this background in around it. Not going to stress about it now. Alright, so then there's like a leaf here. We'll go with the cold grey one to start with. And then it goes around like this. Straight up in here. There's a bit of blue in here. So go the sky blue. Permanent green. And then it sort of just blends out really nicely to this light colour. So just gradually blend that up. Get a bit darker. Bit on the top. And then like a little bit of the May green. Olive green yellowish, so just at the base. And then it goes up around here. And then we just need to darken this a bit. So there is that like vein in the middle. And then like that. This leaf is darker at the bottom, and then something like that. Get a bit darker in here. Let's go the black. And then just fading out lighter here. sky blue. And then you can go with the white and blend this down. We'll go with the earth green yellowish. I'm just going to angle that up a little bit. And then go in with the white. Like that. Okay, and then this darker bit sort of goes around like this. So this, the base of this goes like this. It's tricky because there's so many like little bits and pieces going on. Black. And then the light May green, the outside, and then also on the middle. Up like this. And then this bit gets darker in here, so we'll use some of the May green. So from where this leaf comes up, it goes down, up here, something like that. And then there's some like little viney bits under here, so we're going to add in a bit of these with the olive green yellowish, just really thin lines. So you want to sort of like cross them over each other. And this one, like that, and then just blend this down to get it a little bit darker. Because it's a lot darker. And then with the walnut brown, we'll add in some darker bits. I might just sharpen this actually. Make it a little bit sharper. Alright, walnut brown. So under here there's some darker bits that sort of, they're like little viney bits. Makes it look a little bit more messy and a bit more vine-like, I guess. So get a bit darker with this, and then just add in some of those little bits of thing, and then some darker bits here, a bit here. Just outline these. And if you always make them bigger, you can always make them smaller later. There's a green bit around here we should probably put in. So we'll put in the light green. Was it May green? Like that. And then olive green yellowish. So we'll get a bit darker here. So this is like a bit of a leaf that's like on the side. So we'll go like that. Permanent green. And then it's lighter, like in the middle. Olive green, yellowish. Blend that up a little bit. Blend this down a little bit. Bit darker, and then up here, just some little lines and things. And then let's go with the walnut brown. So there's like some little, maybe they're like roots, maybe. Goes down like this, like that. And then this one here. And then the cold grey one we can do just above it. And we'll leave that in for later. So get some of the permanent green, a bit darker in here. There's also a little bit of orange, so we're going to put in a little bit of the orange glaze. Just in little lines. And then walnut brown. A little bit of May green in these little stick things. Maybe a bit of the sky blue as well. Maybe a bit at the top of this one. Okay, and then I think we'll just do this leaf here and then we'll fill in this whole section. So we'll go the cold grey one. Maybe we'll erase a little bit of this first. So, cold grey one. And then blue, so sky blue, where we can see these blue sections. Here, here, here. Light green, sort of in the middle. Down towards the end. May green. It's a really strange colour, this one, isn't it? Cold grey one, let's blend it. Olive green, yellowish. Like that, and then on this side, put in some little lines here. Let's put in some little details. around here. Get darker up here. Around here, and then there's like a little greeny leaf just going here. So light green, cold grey one, light green, go around it with the olive green yellowish. Walnut brown. Walnut brown, and then here. Go a little bit more of the permanent green. Olive green yellowish. Some more little like dots in here. Alright, and then we can move back onto this sort of whole section and start to put this in. So just with the walnut brown, we'll put in this little vine, just the sort of outline of it. This goes like that. And then so make sure to have a really sharp point for this section, just so that you can get like those little details in. But at the moment we're just sort of doing like the general sort of outline. It's like a little stick here, like that. And then there's like a little T section. Goes like this. Alright. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this darker shading. Then here, it's pretty dark. And then we can add some green color. There's a little bit of orange in here as well, so we'll do some of the orange glaze. So especially up in this corner. So just doing it really lightly, like you don't want it to be this huge orange color that you can see. You just want it to be like a hint of this color underneath the dark. Feeling a bit of orange tone here too. Maybe a little bit more up here. Just gonna have some tea. Okay, and then we can add some green. So May green, I think we'll go with. Pretty much all over. Just trying to stay away from these little stick things. Maybe a little bit in the middle. Down the bottom. And then you can go with some permanent green. Bit darker here. Skip that song. So in here, okay, and then we'll go a little bit more of the olive green yellowish. So this darker section goes down like that over that leaf. And so remember, again, we're sort of doing just some really loose shading because you want to be able to see the darkness in between, the light and the dark in between. If you just go through and do like a big really hard shade of everything, you won't be able to see the light and the dark and the orange and the green that we've put through. You want to be able to see that coming through, so you're just really sort of loose shading around everything. And then where it's like lighter is where you sort of make the gaps bigger and leave more of that color coming through. And then we sort of repeat that with the green, the darker green, and the black after. I really like doing this sort of thing. It is really therapeutic. It just takes a while, and you need to concentrate a bit. Darker down here. Darker in between. Okay, then we'll start to add in some of the black. I might just sharpen this with the sandpaper sharpener. So just going beside these little vines a little bit darker, and then you can start to really sort of be precise of where you're doing these darker and lighter sections. You don't want to cover all of the brown 100% either though, because you want to be able to see a bit of it coming through. Up here. Through here is pretty dark. So darker either side of these little leafy, or what are they, roots or twigs or something like that. And darker under this leaf. You can also add in some like more green. So this is light green. I didn't mean to go that permanent green. So just at the bottom of this leaf here, it's pretty black. And then you can start to see some of these little sections. So we'll just do some little like semicircles till it just leaves some like gaps in there. Up here. Alright, and we might use some of the white just to blend down this leaf, make it a bit smoother. So here is where the background comes in, so we'll just leave that. We'll go add a little bit of black in this bottom, these bottom little twigs and stuff, just to get some of those really dark shadows in there. Walnut brown. Some more brown in here, maybe even a little bit more orange. Orange glaze. More walnut brown. Okay, and then it's all a bit random in here. So just do some little lines and add some permanent green in. A little bit of the orange. A little bit more walnut brown. Okay. Black. All right. And then we can also go over this with white. Make them stand out a little bit more. Here, there's a couple of little white sections, so we can go with our soft white Holbein pencil and do some little dabs. The rest of it under here is pretty dark too. Maybe a little bit of white here. And then go round it with the black. Over this leaf with the white. Okay. Can we see here? Might move over a little bit. Move this paper over. So I think it's nearly time to add in these big leaves. So we'll go this one here. So this one's a bit of a lighter green. Let's change the music. What do we want? Running? Do we want running music? Oh. No, we're not running. Maybe epic music. Maybe just laid back. Yeah, that'll do. Oh my god, my dog's snoring. Tap a bit. Alright, so we'll just do this leaf here. I feel like this is very laid back. Over here. So I might even add a little bit of the cream. In this one, because it's got a little bit of that yellow tone. Some light green. So remember, the background isn't done yet, so we're going to definitely fix that up after we put all of these leaves in. Let's go permanent green. May green. Olive green yellowish. Darker in the middle. Blend this up a little bit. Go around this a little bit. There's some darker bits here, so like a little dot here, a little dot here, here, here. And then some of the May green. To blend it down a little bit. Permanent green. Yeah, this is olive green yellowish. Alright, permanent green. Get this green a little bit darker in the middle. Something like that. May green. And then some white around the outside. And maybe in the middle. Accentuating those colours, you know. Cold grey one. Blend it down. Okay, there's like a little one over here. So do May green. Cream, the bottom. Olive green yellowish. Some darker bits in the middle. Then there's like a vine coming all the way down here. So we're going to just put that in. And it goes onto this like leaf here. Something like that. Up here. And then there's like a little stick thing here. Like that. Add in a little bit of the orange here. And even a bit of it pretty much all over here. Olive green yellowish. Here. And then we'll go maybe a bit of the cold grey one just next to this. And then add in a little bit more olive green yellowish just to make it like a little bit thicker. That. And this bit is quite white, so we'll do a white line here. And when we fix up the background later, to add in walnut brown, we can really accentuate that like white to lighter section around it. Walnut brown, and then it's browner under here. It's a bit of a green tone as well, so permanent green. Walnut brown. Darker at the bottom. And then we can get darker with a little bit of black. Olive green yellowish. Get a bit darker under here. Walnut brown. Okay. So in here is like a whole mix of random things. So we'll get some of the May green, do some like little lines. Add in some walnut brown. Just trying to make like a couple of little shapes that you can see. All adds to like the craziness of it. A little bit of the orange glaze. Olive green yellowish. And then just above here, it's quite like a light brown. So we'll do the cold grey one. Actually feeling some magenta. Reddy purpley sort of tone. Add in a little bit of that. Maybe even some violet. Walnut brown. That's not walnut brown, this is walnut brown. And then blend it with the cold grey one. Add some little lines in, maybe even going with the black and get a little bit darker in some sections. Okay, so there's like a little leaf here that's got a bit of a browny bit at the end. So with the May green, goes like here, just map it out. So we've broken this leaf, and then it goes around like this. Out here. So we'll get a little bit of the kneaded eraser. Dab that away. Olive green yellowish. So there's like a dead bit in the middle of this leaf. Strange. So cold grey one. Just do a base over here. Permanent green. make it a little bit greener up here. Walnut brown. So there's like little darker bits in here. Straight through the middle. Really lightly over that with the walnut brown, blend it down, olive green yellowish, like that. This bit needs to get darker. Darker at the bottom. Darker around here. A lighter green in the middle, so maybe the light green. Olive green yellowish. Go over lightly, and then we can go over with the white in the middle of here. Here, there's even like a little white bit on the tip here. Add that in, why not? Alright, maybe this leaf down here. So this is like a couple of leaves all in one. Cold grey one. So get rid of some of that Pan Pastel. And then this goes down here, is this leaf. This is just like one little side of it. And then this one is a full leaf. It goes up to here. And then we'll just do a base over this. Let's go with the olive green yellowish and just do some like a line in the middle where these are two. Actually, I think this one, it's hard to see in the reference photo, but it's here, goes up to here, and then the middle goes up to about here, and then this leaf is a full leaf, like that. And this one's a little bit different, like that. And then it's got the darker bit down the middle. It's very confusing, but just gotta make it look as best you can. There's some little dots on this side. a darker bit at the bottom, darker under here. There's a bit of that permanent green colour here, so we'll put in some of that. I think it even needs to be a little bit lighter with the cream. Maybe some light green. And then May green. And it is like quite white at the end. May green. All right, and then black. So make sure to have like quite a sharp point on the end of the pencil. And we'll do some like lines up here, showing the separation in between these leaves. Like that. A little bit darker. We can get some white. Towards the end here. And on the left hand side, it's pretty white. And then a little bit here. Go around that with the olive green yellowish. May green. Okay, might add some May green in here. Walnut or olive green yellowish. Okay. So once we complete all of these leaves, I'll go in and fix up the Pan Pastel so it gets closer up around it and it'll look better. Better than what it does. Okay, so then let's move over here. Do some of these big leafy boys. Oops. All right. So this one is a big one. A cold grey one. So this one like folds in the middle, kind of like this one here. This one does the same thing, which is tricky. So cold grey one. So it comes in the middle here. And then over like this. There is a blue tone in there, so we'll use some of the sky blue. I've got that, done that thing where I hold too many pencils at once. Oh. So, sky blue. This way. It goes over there a little bit. It's a little bit on the end. In the middle. A little bit of cream. Then on the end here, a bit more of that cream colour. May green. Where it folds underneath. A little bit of permanent green. So just really lightly. Olive green yellowish. Up here. Here. Couple little details in here. And then darker up here. Here. Blending over. May green. Blend it down a bit. Going with a little bit more of the sky blue. And then some of the olive green yellowish, darker here. Around the edge. Go a little bit of the white. Here And then you can blend that sort of blue tone down with the white. A little bit around the edges. Sky blue in the middle. Alright, so I think I'll go have a break and then come back, and I can probably finish off the rest of this Arvo. So I'll come back in a couple of hours and we'll do the rest.